Hey everyone, it's everyone here. So far, you have Dark Chocolate newsletter, and today I'm here with the first episode of Dark Chocolate podcast as well. So today I have Sindha Singh with us, and I'm excited to have her here. She's a seasoned marketer. She has
Has
worked with
worked
a
with
lot
a
of
lot of
corporates
corporates
and
and
international
international
clients.
clients.
So
So
she
she
will
will
share
share
her
her
insights,
insights.
learnings, practical tips you can apply in your own marketing, so you and
And
grow
grow
your
your
business.
business.
So welcome. Samit is
Samit is
from
from
Noida.
Noida.
She has
She's
been
been
doing
doing
this
this
marketing
marketing
for
for
2 years.
2 years.
She
She
started as
started as
a
a
digital
digital
marketer,
marketer,
then
then
switched to
switched to
email
email
marketing.
marketing.
Right
Right
now,
now,
she's
she's
working
working
with
with
foreigners,
foreigners,
and
and
today
today
she's
she's
here
here
as
as
a
a
coach
coach
as
as
well.
well.
And
And
I
I
came to
came to
know
know
about
about
her
her
from
from
a Instagram
Instagram
story
story
that
that
led
led
me
me
to
to
a
a
Twitter
Twitter
DM,
DM,
and
and
that
that
Twitter
Twitter
DM
DM
led
led
me
me
to
to
her
her
20
20
email
email
press,
press,
and
and
that
that
moved
moved
to
to
her
her
coaching
coaching
team
team
as
as
well.
well.
So
So
yeah,
yeah,
she's
she's
a
a
mentor
mentor
as
as
well.
well.
So
So
welcome
welcome
to the
to the
show.
show.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
Awesome. So can you please briefly introduce yourself? What is email marketing?
Yeah, so I started doing email marketing like 4 years ago, where I was working with a client and they needed, and I was doing everything inside their company, like everything related to digital marketing there. I was running ads, I was handling their social accounts, I was commenting on socials, and then all that stuff. So they told me that they needed to create a lead magnet and then email sequence to whoever comes from ads. They want to nurture them and all that, and I had no idea how to do it like 4 years back. So, but I only had 3 days to implement this, and I said, yeah, okay, I'll do, because I didn't want to show them that, okay, I don't know something, but I didn't know it. So I bought Copywriting Secrets, and because I came like it, people told me that Copywriting Secrets is one of the greatest books on copywriting, and it's recommended by Russell Brunson also. And at that time, Russell Brunson had a lot of impact on me. So I bought Copywriting Secrets and I completed reading it within 3 days. And within those 3 days, whatever I was learning, I was implementing in that sequence that I was creating for the client. And it was ready within 3 days also. And client really liked it. And we started nurturing people. We switched on our ads and we started nurturing people. And we saw some good results come from there. So like we made some sales. I don't remember the exact number now, but it was definitely something that client was really excited about at that time. And it showed me what is the power of email marketing, and it felt like that, yeah, maybe this is something that I can do, because email is a channel which is warm. It only targets the warm audience, right? If you go and run ads and all that, it is targeting cold audience, people who don't know you. So it's difficult to get those people to buy stuff from you or get those people inside your world. But those who come inside your world, either with a lead magnet or anything, like if you're selling an e-commerce product, then a discount or something, those who come inside, they are basically raising their hands and they're saying, send me more info, right? So they have given their consent. And if you're sending emails to them, it's an inviting thing. Like welcome sequences always work better than any other part of the email marketing strategies, right? So that's why like email works a lot better, because it's a warm channel. It's targeting people who already given their consent to receive more emails from you. And if you send emails with a in a strategic approach, you basically convert a lot of people into clients. And even if you don't convert, even if you're just engaging them, right now I'm in my email list, I don't have anything to sell, so I'm just engaging people. And when I do have something to sell, I can, pitch that product, and I'm sure people would buy it because they have a good relationship with me. So that's what email does, and it was my starting point. And after that, I kept doing email marketing for other people, and I saw that the demand for email marketing has grown really rapidly. It's still so much in demand right now, because a lot of businesses, they still don't do email marketing. They're just doing ads and all that just to acquire people, but they're not doing anything to retain them or to do something to keep top of mind for these people. So when it's right time for them, they come to you. So that's a missed opportunity right now, which I'm trying to fill in. And I'm teaching other people, other email marketers who also can come in, do email marketing, learn email marketing, and bring results to their audience, to their clients. Because even if you wrote one email and it drove some sales, like I write one email for $250, and if it gave my client $1,000 of sales, it's completely justified, right? So yeah, that's the approach with email marketing. Plus, emails, writing it doesn't take that much time, right? But the reason that email is a warm channel, it works. That's why you're making a lot of money out of, like, you're making your clients a lot of money, you're making your you're making your clients a lot of money, plus you're making a lot of money too. And it takes just small effort, which you can, as you keep writing more and more, you'll get better, and your speed becomes really better. And yeah, it's a win-win for everybody. It's a win-win for everybody.
True. So we came to know about your professional side, but do you want to share us about your personal side as well, like your studies?
Sorry, can you repeat?
Can you talk about your study or interest?
Um, so I graduated from Triple IT Guwahati. So that's a technical college and it's a premier institute in India. And I basically graduated in computer science. So I was a computer science engineer. I meant to be a computer science engineer and do software job in India, but I chose to not go that route. I mean, I have a degree, but I didn't sit for placements. So everybody else was sitting for placements, and Amazon was coming in, Samsung was coming in, and other really reputed companies were coming in, and they were getting a good package. But I was like, I somehow just had some faith in me that, okay, I can do something here. So I didn't sit for that. I invested all my time into learning about marketing and all. I chose not to invest my time into preparing for interviews and all. So yeah, it was hard because you're seeing your peers, everybody like you lived your life with for 4 years, they're getting such big high packages, and they're getting placed in reputed companies, but you're here, you're still grinding and all that. So it was a really hard phase of my life, but it all paid off. Like today I feel that I am just so thankful I didn't go that route, because so many layoffs are happening now. It's like people who want to switch to a different job, they have to again study for all those interviews, and then there are 4 5 rounds, and even if you miss out on one round, then again you have to prepare and go for another company, and then again 4 5 rounds, and there's just so much competition for that. And yeah, it's a huge headache. I'm just okay, I'll just go pitch our client, and if they convert, convert. If they don't convert, it's fine. It's just my time is not wasting too much. Plus, if someone refers me, it's just a quick sale, right? So most of my clients come from referrals, and it's very easy to sell them. I'm like, hey, it's $2,000 per month. They're like, okay, send me invoice. So it's like that. So yeah, that's why I chose to be in the freelancing zone and not in the job zone, even though I have a degree in computer science.
Yeah, engineers will change their path and do something else. I'm also a civil engineer.
Oh, okay.
I did for this campusing and all, and I chose my career. I had done so many things that right now I'm here within marketing. So yeah, we'll go with the second question now.
Mm,
What's one you made early on in your marketing career, and how did you?
okay. I think number one mistake would be to niching myself down too much. So
Mhm.
I heard a lot of these people saying riches are in the niches, right? You must have heard that too. And I said, okay, I am going to niche myself down to like there are e-commerce brands. I wanted to become an email marketer for e-commerce brands, but I thought that everybody is targeting e-commerce. I'm going to niche down. I'm going to only target health and fitness e-commerce brands. Even though I hadn't worked with anybody, I'm like, even if people like e-commerce people come to me, I would work for them. I would want to work from them also, because I have no clients. But because riches are in the niches, I thought that okay, I'm going to niche down, and I only specified myself as health and fitness e-commerce brand, and that costed me a lot. So I thought that okay, I had to niche down. When I niched down myself, that was hurting me because I was not able to go after a lot of people that I could have served. Plus, I didn't know that I have it. Never worked with an e-commerce client, or I've never worked with a health and fitness client also. So I didn't even know what to expect there. It was because of that I was missing out on a lot of opportunities, right?
Mm.
Like if an info client would come to me, hey, can you do this? No, I'm only for health and fitness, even though that would have helped me make some money, right? And I would have helped her also to make some money from her email list, but I was like, no, I'm in this niche. And I said no to a lot of opportunities that I shouldn't have. I should have said, everybody who is starting right now, like in the early stages of their career, everybody should say yes to opportunities. You should say as much as you can. After that, you earn the right to say no. And I was saying no at the beginning, and that hurt me a lot. My career growth kind of stunted down. And now I have realized that yeah, it was a mistake, and now I practically do email marketing for everybody that doesn't require designs in their emails. So e-commerce brands, they require a lot of designs, so I don't do for them. But anyone else, brick and mortar, coaches, consultants. Usually coaches are my best clients, so I like to target them. But even if brick and mortar stores come to me, or agencies come to me, or SaaS businesses come to me, I would say yes, because yeah, that's email marketing, and I know the fundamentals. I can do that. So now I'm open. Initially I was too narrow, and yeah, that was a mistake.
Okay, amazing. Let's go to the next question.
Okay.
What trends are you most excited about email marketing right now?
So I actually don't follow trends. So my biggest thing is trends keep coming and going, right? So I don't focus on something that keeps changing. I focus on something that never changes. Emails that resonate with your audience wins. That is the fundamental truth, and Gmail, Yahoo, and all these other platforms are optimizing for that only. So whatever new trends come in, if you focus on them, you will realize that at the end of the day, all these trends, the focus was to get more engagement, right? So if you have this fundamental thing in your mind that I need to get more engagement, whatever you do, it will help you optimize towards it, right? You are not going to follow trends, but you're going to follow how to get more engagement from my audience. So that's what I keep in my mind, and that's what I follow. I don't look on, okay, I should do this, I should do that, and this little trick, right? I don't do that. I keep in mind that Gmail wants its customers to be happy. If I keep them happy, Gmail will reward me. So yeah, that's it.
So
So
whenever
whenever
we
you
start email marketing, we have
have
to
to
build
build
our
our
email,
email,
right?
right?
So
So
what
what
are
are
the
the
biggest
biggest
challenges
challenges
you
you
faced
faced
building your
building your
email
email
for
for
your
your
clients,
clients
for
or
yourself?
yourself? Okay, so for my clients, I usually just tell them to create, just to find one small thing that where they can help their customers. So it can be a four-step checklist, it can be a small video. One of my client, he's using a case study video that we helped this business make this much money, and this is how we did it. So he's explaining that in a 10-minute video, and that we are using as a lead magnet. So lead magnet is anything that actually helps the customers, right? So it can be as short as a small one page text, or few points in a checklist, or a video, or anything. So the goal of the lead magnet is it has to filter in people who are the right prospects, right? You don't want people who come in and they never buy anything from you. Then what's the point? You want to get people in who are your ideal future customers, right?
Yeah.
So if you want to attract e-commerce brands inside your list, you can use a lead magnet like an abandoned cart sequence that works like crazy, or that converts 50% of the customers. That if you use that as a lead magnet, you know that people who are coming in for that lead magnet, they should have an e-commerce store. That's why they're attracted with this lead magnet, right? So then you can, inside your email list, you can start pitching them more about, talking more about how they can get more sales from your email list and all that. So your lead magnet, the biggest challenge is that most people don't understand that their lead magnet has to get people that will get them ideal clients. Actually, I did the same mistake also, that I created this 21-day series. No, it helped me get a lot of good people, but it also helped me get people who were just looking for free things. So they started talking about that, hey, can you do this for free? Can you do that for free? Or I'm looking for this, I'm looking for that. Or they don't respect your time and all that. So you don't want to attract freeloaders. You want to attract people who can be your potential customers. So that's important. Yeah.
Amazing. So,
So
what are
what
the
are the
top
top
three
three
tips
tips
for
for
increasing
increasing
email
email
open
open
rate?
rate? Okay. The open rates is usually about ti- uh, tighter segments and better subject lines. These are the two factors that impact the open rate. If you're using a good subject line, a curiosity based subject line, that opens a loop in people's mind, because brain wants answers. If you suspense movies, suspense books, why do they work? Because people are hooked. People want to know, okay, who killed this person or what happens next and all that, right? So it opens a loop in the brain that people want to close. So I like to open a loop in the subject line. Start with a question that people are asking themselves. So Robert Collier said that meet where people are, right? Start a conversation that people are already having in their mind. So let's say if someone is asking how to get my first client, and this is a question that they keep thinking about, and I wrote an email like that, here's how you can get your first client, or how to get your first client in quotation marks. So they're like, maybe this is an email for me, right? So it gets opens. Curiosity based subject lines, or if you use the person's name, just the name, or something around, hey name, just name, that also gets a lot of attention. So those are great ways. Plus you need to have a tighter segmentation. Don't send your email to everybody. Send it to a small group of audience who are actually engaging, like 30-day segment, or 60-day or 90-day. Don't go beyond 90-day because they're not interested. So 30-day segment meaning anyone who has opened or clicked your email in the last 30 days. 60-day meaning in the last 60 days, or then in the last 90 days. So these are the people who are already engaging. So if you use a good subject line for this segment and you send them, there's a high chance that these people are going to open your email. So yeah, that's the trick.
Perfect.
Perfect.
Perfect. So,
So
whenever you
whenever
will
you
talk
are
about marketing, the
the
first and
first and
foremost
foremost,
thing you should
should
always
always
take care of is the email
email
copywriting, because it's the
is the
heart
heart
of everything. The better
better
you
you
write,
write.
you sell. So,
So
how
how
to
to
master
master
this
this
email
email copy?
copywriting?
Uh, so with email copywriting, you have to actually you have to make sure you're entertaining your audience. So nobody wants to get boring content inside the emails, right? TikTok is just a step away, Instagram is just a click away. They can watch cat videos. Why read your email, right? So you're literally competing with Netflix, Instagram, and all these people who dance in front of the camera. So if you want to compete with them, your emails have to be entertaining, plus they have to provide some value in it. So it's basically an art of storytelling. How you're telling a story, you're talking about something that, hey, this is the problem, and you get people in, yeah, this is a problem I'm facing. You agitate it a bit. So this is problem agitation solution. That this is a problem that, hey, are you paying this much tax from your yearly income? A lot of people are paying this much tax, and it's causing them to, it's reducing the money that they have in their bank account, and which they could have used get their family on a trip, or they could use to fulfill the dreams of their child, or they could use to buy something great for themselves or fulfill their dreams. But no, you're giving that to the government, who is not doing anything about you. So why are you giving that extra cash? You then in return, what do you get? Potholes and all that. Then you're agitating that, then you're taking giving a solution that, hey, uh, that's why I created this course where you're going to learn about tax saving techniques, which are 100% legal, and you can save a lot of, like, 70% of the tax that you're giving out anyway. So yeah, just think about how much money you can save here, and here's the link, buy it. So that's how you kind of need to do it. It's not like just pitch, pitch, pitch. It's also not like very professional language. You need to use a language like an eighth grader, like anyone can understand, right? A very very simple language, and you need to paint a picture that just that problem agitation solution framework lets you do that. You can talk about your story too, that I used to pay so much taxes and all that, and everybody I meet, they're doing that. This is, and here's why it's bad. You shouldn't be giving too much money out, because obviously that's your hard earned money. If you can save it, why wouldn't you want to save it? And this is how you can do it. So when you talk about the problem that's keeping them awake at night, or all that, so when you create a story around it and you get people hooked in, that yeah, this is a problem, this is what I want to fix, and then you give a solution, it usually helps you get more sales. So with email copywriting, that's what you need to do more. You have to practice a lot, that okay, if I'm the customer, will this copy sell me, will this copy be valuable for me, right? If your copy, like, in copywriting, the goal of one line is that they want you to get the other line read, right? The goal of first line is to get read the second line, the goal of second line is to get people to read the third line. That's how, like, people need to, you need their attention to flow throughout. So yeah, that's important, and that comes from practice. The more stories you tell, the better you will get. I would recommend that you read a lot of emails from these big newsletter people, right? Chris Ozawaski, Alan Drago, and Kevin Rogers, and all these people. If you read their emails, you will understand that okay, this is what they're doing, and what goes in comes out, right? So whatever you feed your mind, that's what your mind is going to learn, and that's how you will start writing it. At the end of the day, copywriting is a muscle. The more you exercise, the better you will get. Yeah.
Sure. Perfect. Thank you for letting us know. So now, next question is, can you share a case study or example of an email campaign that were more proud?
So I actually wrote a testimonial email for a client, and that actually got a lot of clicks and a lot of call bookings. So when I say call bookings, it's not cold email or something, but they had an email list of people, and they wanted to get more call bookings from there so they can sell their coaching program. So I wrote a testimonial email that okay, this client of ours, they joined our coaching program, and this is the result they received. Do you want similar results? Click here to book your call. So this actually worked really well for us, and this testimonial email got us a lot of call booking. So that was my first time that I realized that okay, wow, testimonial emails sell really well. And every time I've written a testimonial email for them, it has overperformed from all other emails that we wrote. Yeah, that is something I was proud of, that writing those testimonial emails and changing my styles with each of them, adopting a storytelling approach, or sharing 2 3 testimonials within the same email also. So yeah, those emails worked really well. Then there are some storytelling emails that worked well for us. So I asked my client to share their stories with me, and then I converted those stories into emails. So one of the story was about that a lot of people were asking him that you should take more vacation, and the client was like, he didn't want to take more vacation from his business because he liked doing the work he was doing. So we created an email around that I was at this conference and this guy told me, hey buddy, you should be taking more vacations. And I was like, wow, okay, it's okay for them to say, because they're at 8 9 figure, right? But I want to reach there. So I'm happy because of where I'm going, not because of where I am. So I'm addicted to my business. I want to work on it. I wake up every day on Monday pumped and energized that okay, I'm going to work on my business. If you don't feel the same way about your business, and every Monday that comes in, you have to drag yourself to work, that means you don't love your business. You haven't found that yet. If you want our help in finding that for your business, click here to join our coaching program. So this really resonated with the audience, and we got a lot of call bookings there too. So story based emails work.
Wow, amazing.
Yeah.
So, can you name tools which is actually amazing for doing email marketing?
So Claude is a great tool. It's an AI which actually writes really great copy. So I have trained it. Like if you don't train it, it's not going to work. So I have trained it a lot. Like whatever previous emails I wrote for a client, I put it on Claude and I asked it to match the copy, tone and voice, and the structure and format and all that I have done. And then I prompted to write the next email, and it gives me a boilerplate which I have to work upon. So it's a very amazing tool to save some time. Then yeah, it's transcript.lol. So that is a tool that I bought on AppSumo, like the lifetime membership. I don't think it's still there, but you can buy maybe yearly membership. So it helps you take uh, audio content, video content, or whatever it is, and convert it into text. So that also helped me a lot. There is Descript also that does the same thing, but I use Transcript because it's cheap and you can quickly convert a lot of audio and video content into text. So when you're trying to convert a podcast or a YouTube video into text format, so you can create an email out of it. This tool helps a lot. Then what else do I use? I use Nota, Nota.com. So I think, yeah, Notta. I think that's Nota.com. Yeah. So what it does, this tool, whenever someone's speaking something, let's say I cannot download the whole thing, but I want to just convert little bit of that into text. So I use Nota, and it lets me convert 3 minutes of if I'm speaking something into text. So that's also helpful, and it's free up to 3 minutes. Yeah. So that's what I use. I think that's it. These are my
Why
tips. I I see that email is going to grow a lot because there is a huge gap today, especially in India, that a lot of businesses, they are using WhatsApp marketing, but yet they're not using email marketing. So even Shark Tank brands, so brands that have come to Shark Tank, they are. I have a buddy of mine who is only pitching Shark Tank brands for email marketing. Like, he's based in Vadodara, and he's only picking brands in Vadodara who are going to Shark Tank India, and he's trying to pitch them that, hey, are you doing anything on the email side? I can help you. I can even come to your office and show you my stuff. And yeah, he signed clients from that. So if Shark Tank brands are not using email marketing, you would know that what other brands are doing. They're definitely not using that. So there's a huge gap right now, especially in India. It's outside too, but it's filling up. So I think that a lot of new businesses that are coming up now, right? They would need a lot of help with email marketing. AI has made it super, super easy to start a new business. You can just click a few buttons and create a website nowadays. You can do a lot of things on your own. You don't even have to sit in front of camera to shoot videos anymore because of AI, and it will keep on improving itself, right? Foreseen that a lot of people are going to start their businesses because the bar is so low. If they're going to start, they're going to go and purchase a lot of ads. Yeah, right. And social media, they're going to do a lot of social media content to get more eyeballs. But once they get in, like, this is something that everybody does, but email is something that most people forget. So as this demand is going up, ad price is going to go up again, right? Because more people are bidding for the same eyeballs. So email is something that people, it is going to be mandatory. Right now it's not mandatory for most businesses. They're like, okay, LinkedIn is giving me good reach, so I will stay here, or all that. But they'll realize that LinkedIn's reach will also go down with time. What LinkedIn's reach used to be 3 years ago, it's not the same right now, and it keep on going down as more and more people come up and they start creating content, right? So email marketing is going to be life saving for a lot of businesses going forward. It's going to be mandatory. So I'm foreseeing that the demand is going to increase way more than here. Yeah.
amazing. So my last question for this podcast is for newcomers to marketing, what's one piece of advice you give to help them stand out?
Okay. The number one advice I would give them is be, like, have a good communication with your clients. So a lot of people who do good work, but they don't have a good communication. Like, they're talking childishly, or they're not grammatically correct all the time, or uh, they're not communicating with their client often. Robert Allen told me, like, he's my mentor, and he told me, sorry, he was my mentor. He told me that when you work with a client, the number one reason they leave you is communication. The communication is not clear. You're not responding on time, or you're not giving complete information. One of my friend, he's like, every day he gives some update to the client that, okay, this is what is going on, this is what is going on. So this helps, like, client have some transparency and peace of mind that, okay, my account is safe, and this is what is going on behind the scenes, so they have clarity. Because as entrepreneurs, they always want to be top of everything, right? And if you help them, you're going to become irreplaceable. But a lot of people don't do that. They don't update their clients, they don't talk to them often, they make them wait a lot, like maybe 2 days or 3 days later they communicate. So I think that is a really big thing. Even if your emails are amazing, you need to be good at communicating with clients. Plus you need to be good at strategy. So a lot of newbie email marketers that come in the market, they think that copy is the X factor. Copy is why people are going to hire them, which is true. Copy is something that why people hire you. But they're not going to keep you just because of your copy is good. They're going to keep you because you're bringing them results, right?
Mhm.
So if you don't have a strategic mindset that okay, how to use email strategically, so you're going to get fired because copy on its own doesn't bring results. It brings result when you couple it with strategy. Like let's say a client is all land his all emails are landing in the promotions or spam folder. The open rate is like 10% only. You come in, you write great copy, and it still lands in promotions or spam. Nobody's reading it, nobody's clicking it, nobody's buying it. Is that client going to keep you? Is that client is still going to pay you because your copy was nice? No, right? If you don't have a plan to get them out of that promotions or spam folder, if you don't have a plan to improve open rates and the deliverability part of it, then clients are going to fire you because they're not seeing the money coming in. They are putting money in you because they're seeing you as an investment. If they're seeing you as an investment, they won't return out of it. If my clients pay me $2,000, I at least want to give them 10x ROI on that. If they're not getting that, then it doesn't make any sense, right? If they pay me 2,000, I make them 1,000. Them losing money.
Yeah.
Why would they keep me? So strategic mindset, like teaching yourself on how to bring results to clients, not just writing cute and clever copy, but bring in results. That is like very, very important in today.
Mm. Yeah. Last 30 minutes was amazing. We have talked about the basics of email marketing, the advanced part of email marketing. Thank you for being here today. Those people who are watching this right now, they have learned a lot. 30 minutes is actually more than any 3 hour course. And I don't want there are so many people selling the courses in the market. They are not, but this 30 minutes help them become a better. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for sharing your ideas. And of course, I will call to check hard one day course. It's illegal. I'm really serious with it because it's that value. And I will add a link in the description. And yeah, it's
Yeah.
all. Thank you.